Hello, welcome back. This is Scott from Wessex Glades in England. What I'm going to cover today is my theory and philosophy behind how I'm going to load out my haversack from Brian of Heavy BTU that I won about a month ago, I think it was. I think it's Mitch from Native Survival who sells these packs. Nice reinforced shoulder straps, sort of carry handle, and two deep side pockets with the paracord crisscross lacing on it. There is the possibility of putting a bedroll or something underneath that. I like to keep stuff, whatever I'm carrying, in the bag. So I'm going to do everything that's going to fit in here with the maximum bang for your buck, weight for rate. You know, the theory of how much weight I'm taking and just how much the capability is what I'm taking is going to give me some payback. So we'll make a start. I'll see you back in a minute. Join me back. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you should just catch me in shot and tabletop. When it comes to loadouts, biggest influence going would be Dave Canterbury. So we're looking at 10c's, 5c's of his command survivability. Very clever the way they does it. If you've got to think of 10 things that begin with C. So we're looking at cargo, combustion device, cutting device, combination tool. Not that I'd adhere to it too rigidly, but it's just an easy way of covering all your bases. Now obviously cutting tools first. What I wanted to be able to do was make sure that this came in my pack, which is the bushcraft course that I won through Sepp's Swedish log. So that is a start for me in terms of a cutting tool. I could swap out now and again, but as long as I can fit all this in, I can start swapping things about. I'm also looking at a covering, and what I started off with was a very small but very light DPM poncho. So it's got a small tarpaulin. I've got a compass, very cheap. I've got a candle, a light. So I've got a little one you get from a garage, about £3, and you put 3 AAA batteries in there. I've got my sleeping bag, a very small one, summer weight. I've got 2 bundles of cordage, like this. I've got a care package, which is a first aid kit that I've chopped and changed and made sure I've got loads of things in there, including something for a heavy wound. I've got a combustion device, the one I got from Sepp, which is the Army, Swedish Army fire steel with the striker on. My combination tool, we're going for a lap ladder, and my container, I've made a start and put that in the mix. But when it comes to putting it in the pack, hopefully you can see just where I am and what I'm doing. It doesn't take long to realise that once I put that in there and everything else inside, I can pretty much fill all of that up without really packing too religiously. I've still got a big space up there, and I haven't even come to that yet. So being that all those will definitely suit my needs for a day pack, small poncho, half decent knife, folding saw, I only need a little bit of room in the top, maybe, or the top of there, for a bit of food, maybe a touch of water. So what I'll do is I'll try and uprate any or all of the items that I've got in here to start with. So I've bettered my capabilities, but I've still got room in the pack for food. Okay, so join me again and we'll start swapping bits out. Okay, welcome back. Now, the first thing I'd really like to change would be, rather than having a man-made fibery sleeping bag, I really like to go with one wool blanket. But you all know the problem that you get with wool blankets, and they're as bulky as anything. But I think there might be enough room to play with. So what I'm going to go for is I'm going to change out the man-made sleeping bag Okay, done that. Anyway, as I was saying, rather than go for a man-made sleeping bag, even though I just bought this morning British Army issue jungle sleeping bag, very nice, with the compression bag, £3. Nice though it is, it's still not as general purpose or as high performing in a drizzle as a wool blanket. But you can see the problem with wool blankets. You're looking at this. But I'll jam it in the bottom and I'll go for it, because wrapped up in that I've at least got the performance of that sleeping bag. Plus, if it's slightly wet, as it has been the last 2 weeks here in England, I'd still want to go for a wool blanket. So let's jam that in the bottom. So under the table he is, and I'm going to try and get that in as efficiently as I possibly can. So there's the wool blanket in. Now, the other thing I was looking at was, there's a poncho, but there is a full-on British Army Desert Basher. Proper job with all the tapes and the eyelets in it, and a reinforcing tape down the middle, compared with this, hobby job. So I'll go for that now. So my keeping me warm, keeping me dry side of the pack has just been uprated a hell of a lot. So let's try and swap out the poncho for a full-on British Army Desert Basher down the side of the pack. So let's have a go at this a minute. Okay, there it goes in. It goes right down. If I fiddle with the strings, I should get more room. So I'll fiddle with this. Okay, welcome back. So I've just loosened up the lace sides and jammed the basher down, which brings on to this volcano stove. It's a lovely bit of kit. It's very light, but I do prefer drinking my water from a NATO container, because you don't quite get that aluminium taste in the mouth. And then if I put a canteen underneath, I prefer cooking on that rather than a small cup there, because it's got a wider base and I can put it into the heart of a fire and it cooks a little quicker than the narrow base on that. So it's very convenient for one person for an afternoon out, but for an overnight stay I want to get the evening meal and the breakfast cooked with a minimum amount of aggravation. And then the other thing I'm saving is, it goes down the side pocket, that's taller, that's shorter. I'm still using up the pocket, but I'm getting that much room back. So let's put it in the pack. I'll come back. Okay, so in the pack we have now just 3 items so far: wool blanket, desert basher, and the NATO sort of crusadery canteen bottle plus a canteen cup in the bottom of there. Now the next thing I'm not going to change, which is cordage, my compass, the combustion device. I'm quite happy with all of those. I haven't really got alternatives I can swap about, so some cordage there. The candle, I'm quite happy with this for a torch. I do have a Maglite size dual AA, but plenty good enough for what I'm looking at. And can you beat these things? Honestly, I think they're amazing. I've got my Axe Mr. Tools one, which is a bit longer, but these things here, the size they are, they're excellent. So I'm keeping that, and a first aid kit, which goes there. Now, all this pack is based on, assuming that you'd be dressed for the season. And I've got to go over what I would be wearing if I was going out, for a one night stay. I have decent strong combats on. I've got steel toe cap boots on, I've got a layer of a t-shirt, I'd have a decent fleece. There's my Peter Storm I got on clearance for a £5. So a fleece like that, a shemagh I'd have. Now this is where I gain items, because Dave Canterbury would actually count this as part of his 10 items. I count this in adequate clothing because it's just something that's so light, and I would say is in your clothing system. You can do so much with it. You know, if only you did that, like that. What's the aggravation in taking that? And it's based on, you know, what you're wearing. Could be from 25 degrees in the day down to maybe 5 degrees at night, from spring to autumn. You've got that cover of range of temperatures, that would really make life easier. Why would you go without it? I wouldn't. Okay, so I'd have a t-shirt on as a wicking layer, a decent fleece, a shemagh, my Gore-Tex coat which is in the hall ready to go out. You know, that is my system. I wouldn't go out without at least that. In the winter I'd have another layer. Okay, so the fact that I've got a wool blanket, if I'm slightly warm in the night, off comes the fleece and I've got a nice pillow. Okay, if there's mozzies around, I wrap the shemagh around my head. Okay, there's a lot of options going there because I'm dressed for the season. If you weren't dressed properly, you'd have to make up for that by upping your loadout in your pack. You know, that's the way I roll. That's the way I do it. I like to think that I'm dressed properly to start with. If I was, could I have a rough night? Could I get through? And could I go back home tomorrow? Yes, I'll be thirsty. Yes, I'll be hungry. I might have had a rough night. But just going out clothed for the season, you know, gives you a really good starting point for you having a night that you're not going to die from like hypothermia. Okay, if you're not dressed right, the rule of threes means that you will die of hypothermia before you die of thirst. Okay, so you could be not dressed for the season, but 2 litres of water you could have on you, but you'll still get hypothermia first than dying of thirst. Okay, so that's the way that I've got my theory behind the way I'm doing this pack. Okay, I'm dressed for the season and I got this pack. Okay, anyway, back to the Laplander. I've often said that a really good tool that I own, okay, that goes with that in terms of its size, is my Cold Steel Troop Flight Thrower. The two fit together in a pack very well. He's very thin. Thinner than that when they're compressed inside. So it's not going to be that much aggravation stuffing that down inside a pack and that in a pack than it is with this. And nice though this is, that's a bigger blade. Okay, I absolutely adore this knife. In terms of a Mora, if you had a choice between any of my Moras, I could take one, I'd take this one. But if I could take one blade, very small, very compact, doesn't take up much room, I'd rather go for a full tang. Okay, and let me tell what the size of the knife. Okay, he's 2 inches bigger, he's deeper, he's thicker. So the fact that the sheath on this one is plastic and quite thick means this one has an advantage because he's so slim. So I'm going to uprate the knife from the bushcraft horse to a true flight thrower, and as a wood processing, chopping, feathering system, this is great now. So if I had those in my pack, where would they go? I could stuff that down one corner, stuff that down the other corner, and I now have my pack loadout You should be able to catch that. There's my basher. I've got a decent amount of room in there. I could put, there's some here. This is what I use. Packets of rice, packets of couscous, so 27, 30, 35 pence for a pack of this. That's a meal, maybe a bit of sausage. I've now got, look there, I get 2 packets of rice in there, tin of spam, man spam. I could get a vacuum packed sausage in there, and I've still got all of that, put the camera, the batteries in the card. Not the big case, but I could take that wrapped up in, ooh, what are those handy things called? A shema. So I could take another shema, wrap the camera up and stuff it in there, and that should be plenty. So hopefully you've seen how I've used my theory and ideas from Dave Canterbury on that. In order to cover as many bases with the best gear that I've got that'll fit in this pack. There's a slight snag. It's too big. Okay, it's a 12-inch blade with a 5-inch handle. This doesn't fit. So I've had to change. Okay, so that one is still in my main Bergen. That's the one I'll take when I go with a full pack on. But for one night, I'm going to try and get my what's the word? My dependence on huge packs and whatever just down a bit. I mean, I've got a wool blanket in there. I mean, I've been down to about 6 degrees with a wool blanket. More than happy. I've been down to -3 with a good sleeping bag and the wool blanket. Okay. So, if you can see, if I had that there, where's he to? Little black sleeping bag. He's here somewhere. I've lost it! Who's that? There it was. Okay. If I put that there, I'm nearly there. So, wool blanket and a lightweight sleeping bag, and still all that much room. Sausage, tin of spam. It's still looking possible. Okay. So I didn't lose a lot of options by going old school and going for a wool blanket. Okay, so we'll have that out for now because it's August. The next time hopefully I'll try and get out will be this weekend coming, but there's overtime in the offing at Tesco's, so I'm grabbing it while I can. Okay, so I'll be out as soon as I can, and you can see how I get on with this pack from Brian and a load of goodies that I've got from places around. What we got? Steps thing there. I got a canteen from the army surplus around the corner from there from Farrington. So yeah, Brian's pack. All the best. Thanks for joining me again, and hopefully in a week or two you'll see me out and about with it. All the best. Let's go for my please. Thank you.